dignity, and bravery today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. I just read this one again. Last night, I really didn't get through it. I didn't get through it, but today I kind of worked through it, and there's some power in this. So I am actually probably going to read today's lesson because I learned something today, something I didn't know, which is the goal every single day. But also there's a powerful lesson here. So dignity and bravery. As Cicero says, we hate gladiators if they are quick to save their lives by any means. We favor them if they show contempt for their lives. Quote by Seneca. So I kind of stewed with that one for a little while, and I was trying to process that one, and it wasn't connecting with me because I didn't understand, and that's why I dug deep in the lesson today. So the example, as Ryan Holiday uses, former president Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson's college classmates used to tell embarrassing stories about him. Apparently, he had a big mouth and he felt necessary to dominate and intimidate other people. But his biographer made it clear that when someone actually stood up to a young Johnson, he proved himself to be a complete coward. In one instance, during an argument over a poker game, instead of fighting, Johnson threw himself over a bed and started kicking up in the air, said, "If you hit me, I'll kick you. If you hit me, I'll kick you." Later, Johnson also worked extremely hard to avoid serving in World War II. He lived it up in California while other brave young men went off and fought and died. He later claimed to be a war hero. It was one of his most shameful lies. So that one kind of stings a little bit, right? President as a complete coward and a bully. So we do not need to disregard our physical safety or engage in wanton acts of violence to be brave. But nobody respects a coward. Nobody likes the shirker of duty. Nobody admires a person who puts too high a price on their own comfort and needs. The irony of cowardice. It's aimed at self-protection, but it creates shameful secrets. Self-preservation is hardly worth it because everything it costs in return. Be brave, be dignified. Obviously, this is going to hit differently for different people, but I have spent my life putting my life on the line, whether in the military, I was a firefighter. I've never shirked away from duty. And I've always considered myself someone that had courage. What's interesting here, though, is, and I've noticed this, when you are someone like me who, as another great president said, Teddy Roosevelt, someone who actually lives their life in the arena with blood and sweat, marred by blood, sweat, and tears. That's how I've lived my life. But what you will always get is you will always get those people who didn't and don't, sitting on the sidelines, always chirping their mouths, right? And this is true. And so a lot of times I come across people, they ask, "Oh, you're in the military? Yeah, what'd you do?" Have a little conversation. Almost immediately I get the reason why they didn't. Like, I don't ask for it. Like, I don't care. They ask, "Hey, this is what it says in the Marines, this is in the Army, whatever. But I almost immediately from men get the reason why they didn't. Oh, I wanted to be, but this. Oh, I wanted to be, but my parents wouldn't, right? And then you get the other one, people that are just grateful. Now, again, I don't ask for gratitude. It was a calling for me. I felt it was my responsibility. And again, I've talked about the rank thing. I've talked about the medals and stuff. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I did it because I felt it was my responsibility as a patriotic American, as I used to be. I don't wear an American flag anymore. Point of reference. I did those things because I felt it was my responsibility. I saw the people before me do those things. You know, my brother was a Marine. My uncle served in Vietnam in the Navy. I always looked at men who looked at death in the face with a smile, and I looked up to them because those were always the people that stood in front of the danger. And it was always the people in the back that would always be saying stuff, right? It's funny because the people who are protected by that blanket of freedom are the ones that have the most to say. And it's interesting because once they get in a little bit of a power trip, or in a power position, they'll use that, right, for to mask their insecurity. So if I die today, I accept my death, but I also die incredibly proud of the life I've led, of the dangers that I've looked at in the face, of the adversities that I've overcome. Still smiling, motherfucker. Still smiling. I've lived my life with courage. And that is something I've talked about that can't be taken away. The pride that I feel for the life that I've lived can't be taken away. I have done things that other people run away from. I do things that other people can't or won't do. And yes, I've done it with a huge disregard for my personal safety. My body is littered. My face is littered with scars. No matter where you look, I got scars all over the place. Hands, body, I got scars everywhere, broken bones, surgeries, shot, stabbed, you name it, right? For me, in my eudaimonia, in my full flourishing, I would not be able to reach a full flourishing unless I've experienced all of those things. If I hid from those things, I would never be the man that I am today. The courage, the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience. It is required for a full flourishing, for a man to live at his fullest extent of his life, and for every branch and every leaf to reach its maximum beauty and strength and glory. It is absolutely required that you stare death in the face, that you face your fears, that you step outside of that comfort zone. Outside of that is where all of the good stuff happens. My courage and my bravery is why I do the thing. I don't have the fear. I do the thing. I have the experience. I have the idea. It turns into a goal. I write it down. It becomes an action plan. I do that thing. Then I move on to the next thing. Through that, you build confidence. But I will tell you, that is why I've had all the experiences in my life. That is why I've had all the good ones. That is why I've had all the bad ones. That is why I continue to grow. And that is why I'm finally living a life that I am proud of. And that is why I'm at peace with myself. And on that, out of here.